Well, in keeping with that, and not necessarily what you came in to talk about, although it certainly plays into chronic diseases, I don't know if you're aware of the situation here in South Carolina. I know that, I'm sure you're aware of what's going on nationally with regard to the cigarette tax. You know, in South Carolina, the cigarette tax is 7 cents per pack.
Pretty low.
It's the lowest in the nation by far. And the national average is something like $1.11, you know, for state taxes.
Yes.
And we just, you know, for second or third year in a row, we've talked about and been close to increasing that cigarette tax. We didn't do it. Got any thoughts to share about that?
Sure, I'd be happy to.
Yeah.
It's something I dealt with nationally, and I think first let's frame the science. The literature is clear that whether you want to call it a tax or, you know, the more you charge for your cigarettes, the less likely people are going to buy them. So it becomes an effective deterrent to smoking. Okay, but you also find in the literature that even when you raise the taxes, sometimes people will go across the border and buy their cigarettes someplace else, or they'll get them through the black market or through some mail order house and so on. So,
which are sometimes funding terrorists.
Yes, yes, sir. If you want to, you bet. So the point is that scientifically, if I look at this as a Surgeon General, I say increasing the cost of tobacco definitely can be a deterrent to people, because tobacco remains the #1 preventable cause of death in the United States. And although my colleague Luther Terry published the first Surgeon General's report in 1964, and I published the 27th and 28th Surgeon General's reports on smoking, and over 4 decades, still nearly 500,000 people a year die from tobacco-related causes, and cigarettes remain the only product, to my knowledge, the only legally obtainable product which, when used as directed, will kill you. So there hasn't been a political will in our society, and we tolerate that, and we pay it dearly in cost, disease burden and economic burden, which ties into chronic disease, which ties into the partnership to fight chronic disease. Not knowing the specific culture issues that are unique to South Carolina, I certainly would think that that's an issue that should be, the issue of raising the cost of tobacco should be considered. But again, it's hard for me to comment on anybody's specific legislation, not knowing what the other options are. But I know that nationally, all people who are dealing with this look to some form of increased cost to, and I stay away from tax because it's not always a tax, but some way to make it price prohibitive for people to buy them. Yeah. And of course there are many other mechanisms as well. From a public health standpoint, my goal would be we need to eradicate the use of any tobacco products because they're associated with disease, period.
Yeah.